Hey everybody, DBS TCG Central here. Welcome to another deck profile video. If you guys saw today's thumbnail, you saw today that we're doing whoosh, Babidi Insidious Reckoning. So there was a lot of talk about this leader here. Everybody thought it was a good leader, and then the Majin Vegeta deck came out, the starter deck, and everybody realized that that is a really, really good yellow leader. I took it upon myself to not follow the trend because at my locals there's probably like 5 or 6 different players playing Majin Vegeta, so it's like a lot of Majin Vegeta. I decided to go a different route, and I decided to use this Babidi. This Babidi is actually a promo. It came with the pre-release set. Oh, well, actually, it came with the. If you went to pre-release, you got a copy of this card, and then you got a copy of the Majin Vegeta Z battle card, which I'll get to in a little bit. But this thing here is actually a pretty good leader. I was pretty impressed. A few builds I saw online, and I played it, and it actually has the potential to steal games very competitively. So I'm pretty pumped about it. This is actually the gold stamp version. There's a silver version that came with the pre-release. This is if you won the event, they would give you the gold one here. So I'll tell you what the leader does. On his unawakened side, he's Babidi. When this card attacks, draw 1 card, then add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. So you have a self-awakening ability right off the bat. So you're drawing 2 cards, 1 from your life, 1 from the top of your deck when you attack. And then when your life is at 5 or less, you may draw 1 card and switch up to 1 of your energy to active mode. And then on his awakened side, he's Babidi Insidious Reckoning. He's got Overlord, which is a really good because we do have some servants here. Permanent, treat Agents of Destruction cards in your Z deck as if they had no specified cost, and reduce the energy cost of and Z energy cost of Agents of Destruction in your Z deck by 1. So this is actually for one specific card, and I'll show it to you in a second. But it's very, very good for the deck. It actually is a good card on its own, but in this deck, it's even cheaper. So discard 1 card from your hand. When this card attacks, you draw 1 card. It doesn't seem like you plus on this, but with all the other cards and what we discard, you do actually plus with this leader. So active main, once per turn, choose up to 2 of your Majin or Agent of Destruction cards, and they gain Servant for the turn. So it says for the turn here. So what a lot of people don't realize is when they get the Servant, it's only for the turn. And then when you pass your turn on your next turn after your opponents, Servant is no longer on the card, so they actually do restand. So it's actually really, really good. It actually gives you some more draw if you need to sack a Servant, or if you need to do some more attacking. So that's the leader. And we'll start with the Z deck. Like I was saying, there's a few cards, the Agents of Destruction cards here. So we have 2 of these guys here. SS3 Vegeta, Terrifying Agent of Destruction. So your leader actually reduces the energy cost and the Z energy cost of this card by 1. So it actually, you're going to only be paying 2 energy and 1 Z energy to play this guy, which is crazy for what he does. He's dual attack 20k. When this card is played, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and KO them. Additionally, if this card was if you use this skill to KO a battle card in rest mode, this card also gains critical. So it turns into a critical 20k dual attack if it's in rest mode, and if it wasn't in rest mode, it's still a dual attack 20k. So very good to apply pressure. Not only that, you're paying 2 energy instead of 3 and 1 Z energy, but also this is an Agent of Destruction card, as you can see right here, Agents of Destruction, which means you can give this Servant and you could actually pop it, or when you give it Servant, it becomes a 30k attacker. So it'll be a 30k dual attack for 2 energy and 1 Z energy, and a KO something with barrier. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So I run 2 of these because we're kind of tight in the Z deck. But this leader makes this guy even stronger than he actually is. So it's a great card. So we run 2 of those. And then we run a bunch of 1-ofs, actually. So this Majin Buu here, I'll put these aside. Majin Buu, 2 hearts. So it's got Deflex, so it's always coming out. Z Stack 2, yellow Majin card with energy cost of 1. I'll show you those in a second. So you'll be putting 2 1-drop Z battle cards that are Majin under this card. Active main, once per turn. If there are 2 or more cards under this card, and you discard 1 or more yellow Majin cards from your hand, This card gains power equal to the total combo power of the card discarded by this skill for the turn. Additionally, if this card has 20k power or more, draw one card, and then this card gains dual attack. So if you have another margin card in your hand, you could give this servant, because it's a margin, as you can see down here. So you can give this servant, it becomes a 20k, and then it'll get dual attack if you discard another margin card. Most of the margin cards that we have are 5Ks, but there is one that is a 10K. So if you discard a card, it'll become just say a 5K. It'll be a 25K dual attack. And all the other cards that I'll show you next will actually give it barrier, and it won't be able to be KO'd once per turn. So this is very, very good. It sticks around like crazy. So that's the initial one we play. 2 Z energy and 2 regular energy and 1 Z energy. And then these are the 2 that we play afterwards with the Z stack ability. So we run 2 of these. First one being Majin Buu, Heart of Good. So with this one here, permanent, while this card is under a yellow Majin card with energy cost 2 or more in your battle area, the card above this card can't be KO'd once per turn. So this one will get Z stacked under there, and then you will not be able to KO this for once per turn, which is great. Active main, choose one other yellow Majin card in your battle area and place one card from under that card in its owner's drop area. Play this card from under the chosen card. So if you need to play out a 1-drop Majin, you just pay 1 energy and you can play this out. And then this will actually, you give this servant to, say you just need to get a draw, and you can sack this. So really good. So the other one that we play is this one here. It's got Z stack 1. So yellow Majin battle card with energy cost of 1. So that would be this guy here. Permanent, while this card is under your yellow Majin card with energy cost 2 or more, the battle card above this card gains barrier. So this will give it barrier. So you'll have barrier and can't be KO'd once per turn, plus this has deflect. So very safe Z battle card to have out. Active main, limit 1 for 1 yellow energy if your leader is a Majin Buu or an evil wizard Babidi, which it is, both yellow, and you have 4 or more energy. Place up to 1 yellow Majin card from your drop area under this card, and then you play up to 1 Majin Buu intelligence manifest from your hand or from your hand on top of this card. So basically it's a free evolve for the 6-drop, which is really good. We actually don't run the 6-drop in this deck, but it is a good option if people do want to try it. The Majin Buu deck, you might be able to get away with it, but we want to fit a lot of yellow good stuff in here. So some of the other cards that we run 1 SSB Son Goku Evolved Defender. If you guys don't know what this one does, this one's just to help you out if you have a problem card out. Deflect Barrier. When this card is played, choose up to 1 of your opponent's leader, unison, or battle cards in rest mode, and it can't attack until the end of your opponent's next turn. If this card is in rest mode, when your opponent plays a card, you may place 1 of your Z energy in its owner's drop area. If you do, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards or unison cards and switch it to rest mode and negate its skills for the turn. So this is really good because you can get rid of skills on certain cards that are pesky. Plus you can keep their leader tapped down or a unison tapped down. That might be a problem later on. So just 1 of those, really, really good. And then after that, we have this one last card, which is Oolong. Greed is good. 1 regular energy, 2 Z energy. It's got unique, but when you play this card, once per turn, active main, choose up to 1 battle card in play, ignoring barrier, and this card gains this card's power becomes the chosen card's power at the time you choose it with this skill, and at the start of your opponent's next turn, this card's power becomes 4,000. So basically, for the turn, you could play this card and say you have like a secret rare, or you have something that's like 35k or 45k out, or even these guys with servant that become 30ks. You could mimic their power. So like if you need to go for game, you need 1 more attack, you could play this guy for 1 energy, 2 Z energy. and you can go for game that way with another like 30k or 40k attacker or something like that. So really, really good card to have in here. So that's our Z deck. Not a lot of space, but I think it's well used. I know you only get 7 Z battle cards, but they're really good. All right, so the first card that we play is out of the starter deck, Vegeta starter deck. So this card here is Prince of Destruction Vegeta, Destined Battle. So it's got Servant automatically. So we don't really have ways to untap it in this deck, but it also works very well with this leader here. So you would play it, and when you play it, you draw a card. And if there's a card that's 5 or less in rest mode, when this card is played, you can KO it. Also, it's got another active main, limit 1. For 1 energy, if your leader is a Son Goku Vegeta or a Evil Wizard Babidi card, all yellow, and you have 2 or more energy, draw 1 card when you play this card from your hand. So you could play it for 1 energy, draw a card, plus a KO something in rest mode. Additionally, I'm pretty sure, yeah, if you have a Goku in your Z energy or in play, you could this card gets double strike for the turn. So it becomes a 25, because it has Servant. When it attacks, Servant gives it another 10k. So you would swing, it would be a 25k double strike if you have a Goku in play or in your Z energy, plus a KO something, plus you draw a card. Plus, with your leader, it's got Overlord. You could get rid of this from your battlefield, draw another card. So potentially it draws you 2 cards, 25k double strike for 1 energy. Really, really, really strong. So we run 4 of these in the deck, first off. Next is our Boo package. So we'll start with the 1-drops. We run 4 Majin Buu Budding Evil. So if you don't know what this one does here, when you play this card, you just draw a card. So really good because it replaces itself. It's a good turn 1. That's why we run these. If your leader is a Majin Buu or an Evil Wizard Babidi card, both yellow, when you use one of your yellow Majin or yellow Evil Wizard Babidi card skills to discard this card from your hand, you can play it from your drop. So this is really good because it gives you a little bit of combo power to start filling up your Z energy. So with this ability on that side, you would discard it to draw a card, and then it would come into play. And when it comes into play, you can use it for combo. The drawing card is only when you play it from hand. So unfortunately, you do not draw a card from playing it out from your leader ability, but it's still fine. Because, like I said, it's extra combo power and extra body on the board. And it definitely helps out. It definitely lets me fill up my Z energy. So like turn 1, I'll play that on the board. They'll swing at me, I'll combo with it. I'll already start setting up my Z energy. All right, so next card that we run here is Majin Buu the Innocent. So another one of the 1-drops that we run. Let's get to the non-foil so I can read it. So this card here, similar to that card, it has the same ability where if you discard it, you could play it. If you discard it with a Majin Buu ability or a Babidi ability, you can actually play it onto the battlefield. When this card is played from your hand, look at the top 7 cards at the top of your deck and choose up to 1 yellow Majin Buu card with energy cost 6 or less from among them and add them to your hand. So this one's more to like get your boos that you're gonna need to do some shenanigans with. So this one's also good. I prefer this one because it draws you any card. And then this one, you can look at the top 7 for a Majin Buu. Energy cost 6 or less. But like I said, it gets played for free with the leader ability. And then once that happens, you can start setting up your Z energy and stuff like that. Or turn 1, you could play it to get some more cards in your hand. Either way, it's really good for the deck because you need to hit a certain amount of Majins. The next card here is actually a TP card. If you don't know what it does, it's called Majin Buu Control Magic. So this is from the new TP set. This guy is pretty good. I'll tell you exactly why. If your leader is yellow, a yellow Evil Wizard Babidi card, when this card is discarded from your leader skill, you can play this card from your drop. So it gets played for free. It's a 5k. Now, the second one I think is only for the Majin Buu leader, but if your leader is a yellow Majin Buu card and you discard 1 card from your hand, when this card is discarded by one of your yellow Majin card skills, add up to 1 yellow Majin with energy cost 6 or less from your drop area to your hand. So that's only with the Majin Buu leader, but also it has, this card has, if this card has Servant, when this card attacks, you can draw a card. So with your Majin, with your Babidi leader, you can give it Servant. It becomes a 15k attacker for free because once you discard it, it comes into play. So it's a free 15k attacker that draws you a card when it has Servant, and then you could pop it with Overlord and draw another card. So you plus 2, 3 technically because it gets played for free. You got a 15k attacker. You draw a card when it attacks and it has Servant. Plus you can use Overlord to draw another card. So it is actually an insane card for the deck. I run 4 of these. Because it's good, it's a free 15k attacker, but also because we need a certain amount of margins to discard for these abilities and for a few others that I'll show you. The next Majin card that we run is this card here, Majin Buu Vile Onslaught. So this card is a beast it's like a staple in yellow right now. So it's got Deflect, Double Strike, and Active Main Limit 1 for 1 yellow energy. If your leader card is yellow and you have 4 more energy, you can play this card from your hand. Great game ender. So also, right here, Auto Limit 1. If you use one of your yellow Majin or yellow Evil Wizard Babidi cards skills to discard this card from your hand, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and switch it to rest mode. So it has an alternate effect. If you discard it, you can put something in rest mode. And then this other one I think is just for the Majin Buu leader. But if your leader is a yellow Majin Buu card, when this card is played by another card's skills, it gains barrier and dual attack. So in the Majin Buu deck, this is even more of a threat and even more crazy. So definitely a good card here. But just playing 1 energy after you have 4 energy for a 30k Deflect Double Strike is huge. And then you can give it Servant because it's a Majin, so it turns into a 40k Double Strike too. So really strong here. You're definitely swinging with huge numbers. The Servant makes everything a lot bigger, so it kind of pumps up everything. So we run 3 of those. Thinking about bumping it to 4, so I can kind of not be afraid to use it for the discard ability to tap something. But for now, 3 is running pretty well. Another new yellow staple that is really strong in this deck also is this one here. SS3 Son Goku Universe at Stake. So if you don't know what this one does here, it's got Deflect. When this card attacks, you can choose one. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and switch it to rest mode. And then, or you could choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode and KO it. And then it's got an active main for 2 energy. If your leader is a yellow Z leader, or you have a yellow Z battle card in play, and your opponent has 3 or more energy, play this card from your hand. And if a yellow extra card is in your battle area, you can draw a card. So this is kind of for the Soul Striker deck, but at the same time, it works very well with this deck because we don't have a Z leader, a yellow Z leader, but our first of all, any of these Z battle cards will be adequate, but this one here, when you play this, it is on the board for a long time because it has barrier and it can't be KO'd once per turn. So it's very difficult to get rid of this card from your battlefield. And this being out makes that Goku active like crazy. And I only run 3 just in case, because you do have to be at 3 energy and you do have to have a Z battle card out. But also, if you combo with this is a Goku that could go in your combo in your Z energy, and I'll give this double strike. So this is just one of the Gokus that we use for that. So we run 3 of those, which is really good. The next one that we run here is a few more Gokus. Son Goku Steadfast Assistance. So this is just to help with our Goku count, so that we can have our Vegeta have double strike when we need to. But it's blocker, it's a counterplay. The card that is being played is played in rest mode, and then you can play this card from your hand and draw a card. So another permanent that it has is when activating this card's counter skill from your hand, reduce the energy cost by 1 for each yellow extra card in your battle area, energy area, or drop area. So we're playing yellow, so we will be playing some extra cards to get Riposte online. And this has the same stipulations as Riposte, where if you have maybe a extra card in your energy or in your drop area, it'll reduce the cost of this by 1 for each one there. So if you're trying to get your Riposte up and running for playing it for 1, where you would charge maybe a few extra cards, this would actually work in tandem with it. So you have a counterplay to play something, it'll play it in rest mode. You'll draw a card and you'll get a blocker on board. So it's definitely a good card. And it works very well in this deck because we are built to kind of use Riposte for a little bit here. Another newer card that we run, it's another TP card. It's Meta Cooler Infinite Terror. If you don't know what this does, it's a counterattack. If your leader is mono yellow, negate the attack and you play this card. Permanent, if you have a Z leader or a Z battle card in play, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost. Like I said, if we have the Majin Vegeta out, or we have these Majin Boos out, which is usually what I go for turn 2, then all of this is live. So this guy will come out for free if you just need another negate and your energy's tapped out or something. It's just really good. It surprises your opponent most of the time. It also has an effect here. It's got Bond 2. So if you have 2 other battle cards out, this card gets another 5k power and barrier. So it becomes a barrier 15k attacker, which is really good too. So another staple in yellow. I did have the winter promos, but I decided to get rid of them just because they were a lot of money at the time. So I decided to keep these non-foils and get rid of the other ones. So our next card here is SS Vegeta Overwhelming Might. So this is another yellow staple that came out in set 20. Blocker, counterplay, play this card during your opponent's turn while your leader is yellow and your opponent has 2 or more energy and you have 2 or more Z energy. Reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 7. So this becomes a 1-drop if you have 2 Z energy, which we want to set up with these Majin Boos and maybe a Goku just to make sure that we have it in there. And once that's in there, this is live. Auto, when this card is played from your hand, your opponent can't attack with non-leader cards unless they choose 1 card in active mode and switch it to rest mode each time they attack. So at the end of your turn, send this card from its owner. Send this card to its owner's warp. Additionally, if your leader is a Z leader and you have a yellow Z battle card in play, your leader gains the following skill for the turn. Permanent, negate all strike skills for the turn. So if you have that Majin Buu or this Majin Vegeta out, if they have triple strike or double strike, it'll negate those skills when they're attacking you. Also, just like Riposte, Robotic Riposte, which I should get to probably next, it will, just like Riposte, they'll have to tap any card on their battlefield before they can attack with something. So it's really, really strong. And it just helps. It really controls your opponent. All right, so we'll get to the Riposte next. Where are we? All right. So, Robotic Riposte here, Mecha Frieza. So if you don't know what this card does yet, this is yellow's Floodgate. It's a counterattack, negate the attack, and you play this card. If your leader card is yellow and your opponent has 2 or more energy, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1 for each yellow extra card in your energy area and drop area. So just like the Steadfast, it'll become like a 1-drop. And then when this card is played from your hand, each time your opponent attacks with a non-unison card, non-unison card, this card. Oh, for this turn, you must choose one. They must choose 1 card in active mode and switch it to rest mode. So it's got another ability down here too. It's active main for 2 energy. You can choose up to 1 yellow Frieza card with energy cost 4 and Mecha in its card name, and you can play it on top of this card. That's just a little added aggression. I was thinking about adding a 4-drop Frieza, but for now it's just the Floodgate. What's really good about this is, like I said, you play one of these, or say you play this first and then you negate with this ability. Every time they attack, if they're going wide with their board, they'll have to tap 2 things on their battlefield every time they attack. And they start running out of stuff quick because they're going to spend energy on playing some battle cards. And then when they go to swing with them, they'll have to tap another battle card, their leader card, or another energy for them to attack. So it really floodgates them pretty well, especially when you have this one and the Vegito out. It's insane. It just stops your opponent's attacks. Like, it stops their turn like crazy. So 4 of those because they're so good. Next cards that we run are stuff to facilitate our robotic riposts. The first one we play is a few one-ofs, actually. So this one here, the power of a Super Saiyan. So this is a counterattack. Negate the attack for 1 energy. And then also you have a permanent here. If you have 1 or more mono yellow energy in active mode, you can activate this card's active battle skill from your hand without paying its energy cost. So this becomes free. And then the active battle here is if your leader card is mono yellow, draw 1 card, then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards or unison cards and switch it to rest mode. You can't activate the active battle on copies of this card for the turn. So if you have an energy open, you can activate this for free. You could tap something and you can draw a card. You could also use it as a negate, which is great, great, great. So we run 1 of those just because it's errated, so you can only have limit 1. You can only have 1 of these per deck. So it's pretty much like a secret rare. We run 1 Vegeta's Final Flash. If your leader card is yellow, choose up to 1 of your leader's battle cards, leader cards or battle cards, and it gets 1,500 power for the turn. For the battle. If all of your energy is yellow, when you activate this card, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and negate its skills for the duration of the turn. So this is really good. Like, if they're coming at you with like, I don't even know, like a 30k triple strike, you could play this. You'll get to 30k on your combo. Well, basically your power will become 30k. Plus, instead of being triple strike, it'll be just like a double strike. Oh, I mean, just the single strikes because you negate the skills. So also whatever other skills it may have that may affect you negatively. So 1 of those, I run 1 Nimbus. It never hurts to have 1 more negate that can kind of floodgate. If you don't know what this does, you negate the attack, you pay 1, you discard a card from your hand, and then you can only attack with 1 more battle card for the turn. So it's another little floodgate that works really well in this deck. And then we have our counterplays to stop floodgates, which is Tyrannical Blow. If you don't know what this does, counterplay, if your leader card is yellow, if the card being played has energy cost of 3 or less, it's played with its skills negated for the turn. Choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards or unison cards and negate its skills for the turn. So you're actually negating the skills of the battle card being played, plus you're negating the skills of another card that's on the battlefield already. So really good. Yeah. So we run 2 of those. Also we have 2 Realm of the Gods Black Kamehameha. If you don't know what this does, it is an active battle. If your leader is yellow, choose up to 1 of your cards. It gets 10,000 power for the battle. Then choose 1. If it's your turn, you choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode and KO it. If it's your opponent's turn, you draw 1 card and then switch 2 of your opponent's battle cards to rest mode. So really good card here. This is kind of to stop them when they're going wide. Really great. If you need to KO something, you can just do it for 1 energy. So it's really, really strong. And then for the final extra cards that we run, just because we want a good amount so that our riposte is all set up, and also our steadfast. Freezes army's reinforcements. So if you don't know what this does, you can discard 1 card. If your life is at 5 or less, you can take a life, negate the attack, and then this card plays a Frieza army token, which has blocker, which is really good because this can potentially negate 2 attacks. Not only that, what's really good about this is if you need to get down to 5 to awaken, you can do that. Or also, once you awaken, you're at 5 life. You can use this to take another life to be at 4, so that your super combos, which are going to be 4 or less super combos, will be active also. So this really helps out. That's why I run 3. Plus, it's a really good negate if you need to save yourself. So we'll scoot some of these 1-drop extra cards out of the way so I have some room for some other stuff. There we go. But everything in this deck costs pretty much 1 or free, which is really good. And those are our extra cards. Also, we are running yellow, so we're going to run 2 Swift Retaliation Cooler. This is a counter. If your leader card is yellow, negate the counter and play this card. This is really good to go for game. If they try to counter your last attack, you can just play this card, get another attacker out, draw a card. When you play this card, draw 1 card, and if you have 6 or more cards in rest mode, draw 1 card. So this could potentially draw you 2 cards, but when you play it, you draw a card, and if you have 6 or more cards in rest mode, you can draw a card. And then you got a 15k attacker, and you countered their counter. So really good if they try to counter you on your last turn when you're trying to go for game. 2 more cards that I run. It's kind of a tech spot, so I put some of these in. There's a lot of, like this Goku and this Majin Buu, they're 8 drops, and there's a lot of cards in this new format that come out, and their energy cost is higher than the actual energy that they have. So I decided on running 2 of these main board. I can switch them out if they're not relevant, but for the most part, every deck I've been playing I'm dealing with giant numbers. So right now in this format, I think this is really, really good. But choose this card or one of your battle cards and switch it to rest mode and add a marker to this card. So you can switch this to rest mode to add a marker to it, and then -1 if your opponent active main, your opponent can't attack with battle cards with energy cost greater than their current energy until the end of their next turn. So really strong. It just stops. This actually stops Gogeta. This stops a lot of cards from coming at you. If you're playing Red Sin, it stops that from being able to attack. Anything that comes out early that has like a giant energy cost. So right now in this format, I think this is a really good card. Choose up to one of your opponent's energy, switch it to rest mode, and then this card gets 5k power, double strike, and dual attack. So another way to go for game. If you can get the markers on it, or if you just want to play it for, I think, 3 energy, and then you tap a battle card, it'll actually give this 4 markers, and then you can just -3 and then go in for game if you need to. So it's another option. I think it's really strong defensively. I actually run 2 more in my sideboard just because of certain matchups. Super combos, we run 3 Krillin. I think you know why that we run 3. But if you don't know what this does, it is a super combo. You combo with this, you put a card from your hand on the bottom of your deck, and then you draw 2 cards. So very, very strong. It just kind of helps you sift through some stuff and draw a few more cards. I'm not sure. I'm looking at see how much cards I draw, and if I can, I might switch this to a Goku to make this live even more. But also the Zamasu is a good option because this KOs a lot of stuff in rest mode. So if you need to get something in rest mode, the Zamasu is really, really good. So I run 3 of these. And then for our secret... Oh, wait, we got one more. Our Overrealm. This is just to help go for game also. Secret Identity Mass Saiyan. It's a 25k Overrealm 6. You kind of go this on your last turn. If you're trying to go for game, you need to get another swing in. But when this card is played using Overrealm, choose any number of your opponent's battle cards that add up to the total number of 6 or less and send them to their owner's warps. This is just kind of to help clear your opponent's board and stuff if they're getting a little crazy. Or if you need one more thing to go for game, you can play this for another 25k swing. So also another really strong card. This might get switched to the Bardock dual attack or the Broly. I'm just not sure yet. A little bit more removal doesn't hurt. So I kind of like this one at the moment. And then our secret rare, boom. Yep, Piccolo and Son Gohan, Newfound Might. It's just so good. It wins you games. If you're swinging with a say you give this Majin Buu servant, it's a 40k, and then you pop this on top of it, it becomes a 90k. Never mind what else you're gonna do, and then this comes onto the battlefield. You draw a card. It's so good. But I'll read it to you. It's a super combo. It's an ultimate. Permanent for each card your opponent has in rest mode. Reduce the energy cost. Reduce the combo cost of this card in your hand by 1. As you can see, it's got 5 here. So if they have 5 cards in rest mode, this is free. And that counts as for energy or anything. Battle cards, energy, leader card. When this card is removed from the battle area, remove it from the game instead. If your leader is a yellow Son Gohan Adolescence or a Piccolo at the end of battle, switch this which this card was used in a combo from your hand. Play this card from your drop area. When this card is played or attacks, draw 1 card, then choose up to one of your opponent's unison cards or battle cards and switch it to rest mode. So, did I read this right? Yeah. So if your leader card is yellow, or a Son Gohan or a Piccolo, so this does get played. It's the powerhouse, like especially when you're playing a deck like this and you're kind of swinging in for game, and then you have a Swift Retaliation cooler, so they can't negate it. It is just crazy, because you can actually potentially just win on that swing once you play this or you use this in a combo. So it's really good. And like I said, with the servant, with this ability here, you're giving your Majin Buus and other agents of destruction another 10k on top of what they're attacking. It's almost like a free super combo on each guy you're attacking with. So you're swinging with like big numbers. But guys, that's the deck. If you like it, leave a comment. Check it out. Definitely play test. I think the numbers are good, like the ratios. I might mess around with them a little bit, try a few other things, and I'll let you guys know what happens. I played it last week or a couple days ago at my locals, and it did really well. I was playing against a lot of top players and a lot of top decks, and it competed with all of them. It was good, and then it was my first time playing the deck too. But after a little bit more practice, I'm sure I'll start slaying with this thing, because it's definitely strong. It's yellow good stuff in a really cool package, you know. But guys, I'm DBSTCG Central. Thanks for seeing another video. And if you guys don't know, I do have a Facebook, Instagram, eBay. I'll leave links to everything in the description below. I appreciate you guys coming through, and I appreciate the support. Feel free to leave a like, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks.